Wilson's going to make it 2. Lovely bowling from the 32-year-old post office employee from Dunedin here. Just as Geoff Wilson surveys some of his surgery, we can let you know that owing to this telecast currently in progress, the Rothmans Lawn Bowls Championship, and Kostanich is driving. He misses. The Rothmans Lawn Bowl Championship pairs currently in progress. The programme scheduled to be shown on this channel this afternoon, namely Eat for Health and a repeat of Fame. You will not be seeing those on your screen, as we will be staying with the bowlers. Dickison goes behind the head. Kostanich again. He's closer this time. Jack in the ditch would help him. And his own toucher goes in. He knocks another bowl in as well. But that comes out because that wasn't a toucher. Pat Robertson marks Kostanich's bowl. Helensville, 1 shot. Helensville holding 1. That's the one in the ditch, the toucher in the ditch. Pat Robertson gave his teammate Ivan Kostanich a quick wink there, thinking, I think indicating that he's got 2. That Kostanich's last bowl was the second shot. Now Dickison playing his last. Will he stay on the... Will he stay? No. He falls into the ditch, moves the jack slightly. The leads make the correction. And now they'll inspect to see whether or not Helensville do have 2. Pat Robertson very confident. Great sportsman, Pat Robertson. My word, I remember, and I perhaps shouldn't be biased, but I went to school at St. Peter's College with Pat Robertson in Auckland, and he won a marksman title at school. He won 2 Auckland junior and intermediate singles championships, and a great rugby player and a great golfer and very good sportsman all round now, and now doing very well at the game of bowls.
Well, the pattern of this game at the moment, Ian, is developing like the start of the one this morning. But if it carries on the same way, we will have the highlights again at the finish, or the fireworks we had this morning.
They're playing the 8th end. Kostanich in front by 7 points to 3. Just speaking of St. Peter's College, I would think that if Pat Robertson were to win this title, it was perhaps the first national bowling title ever won by that college. Now, what school did you go to, Kerry Clark?
I went to Cromwell District High School, Otago Central. Ian.
And obviously with you, you've got a gold medal from the 1974 Commonwealth Games, so that's mighty indeed.
Yes, thank you.
Robertson holding shot. Robertson gave the impression that he didn't like that bowl when it left his hand, but I think he'll like it now. That's not too bad either. Helensville still holding shot. Oh, and it moved. The bowl's moved, and Helensville has one down. Well, that's twice today. We saw that in the singles final, and now again in the pairs.
It was a tremendous draw shot by Geoff Wilson and also by Pat Robertson. Both those were very, very good bowls.
Robertson having a little niggle at this bowl. He's having a little niggle here, and he moves the third shot out of the head. It's actually a bowl belonging to this man, Wilson. I don't think that's what Kostanich wanted from his lead. I don't think he gave an indication to him that he wanted him to run at that shot bowl. I think Kostanich wanted a bowl behind the head so as that it would give him the opportunity of perhaps developing the head a little more. So now Kostanich will have to put that back bowl in himself, because there's not much use him hitting the shot bowl, because if the jack does go back, he'd still probably be one down.
Yes, it depends on how you would get the angle of that as to whether the jack will go or not. If he got onto Pat Robertson's bowl, he could actually, if he was going away from the bowl, he could actually remove it without moving the jack.
Kostanich running. Dickison to the back of the head. Kostanich once again on the run. He's looking to spring the shot bowl out of the head. He's very close with this bowl. He's very close. And he's moved the jack. He's now 2 down.
Bad luck.
But he certainly has more room in which to draw the shot. Dickison playing his second. Great bowl from Ian Dickison. Kostanich looking to save, and at the moment making a very good fist of it. He's done it again, the Helensville man, he's done it again, a magnificent draw shot.
Yes, typifies the type of bowls Ivan Kostanich has played all day. He's played some tremendous bowls when he's under pressure, and that again just demonstrates what sort of bowler he is in that situation.
Dickison on the drive, he's got 3 seconds. Kostanich telling the spectators how it's done, how easy it is. Well, for a man that's won 11 Auckland Centre titles and is currently in the final of the Auckland singles, I suppose it's rather easy. Pat Robertson delivers the jack for this, the 9th end. in the 18-end final of the Rothmans National Pairs Championship. Good afternoon to those viewers who perhaps have just joined us. We bring you the news that the new singles champion is Robin Milne from the Geraldine Club in South Canterbury. This afternoon he beat Kevin Darling of the Carlton Club in Auckland by 21 points to 16 in the final. And you are now looking at the final of the pairs. This man, Geoff Wilson, and his partner Ian Dickison, playing Pat Robertson and Ivan Kostanich of Helensville, whom they beat this morning by 16 points to 15, thus requiring a replay, which they are currently doing. And the Kaikarai pair scored a 2 in the first end. They scored a 1 on the fifth end, and that gives them 3 points. However, in between all that, Helensville scored a 2 on the second, a 1 on the third, a 1 on the fourth, 1 on the sixth, 2 on the seventh, and a 1 on the eighth. And it's Helensville leading by 8 points to 3. Kaikarai team is playing in the blue and yellow disked bowl, while the Helensville side have the red and white discs. Two shots to that man. Another fine bowl from Wilson. Kostanich looking to save the situation once again. Here's Dickison now. He too has centre titles to his credit. Won the Otago singles in 1973, 77, and again in 83, and he won the pairs in 77 and 83. So, a no mean exponent of the game, Kostanich. Can he get the weight this time?
Well, here, Owen.
Short. Dickison underneath the head.
You have to draw it now.
Kostanich looking to reduce. There's the fisherman's arm swinging towards the head, but goes underneath. 3 down. Dickison going up to inspect the head. Dickison is leaving shortly early February to represent New Zealand in the World Embassy Indoor Singles Championship, being played at Coates Bridge just out of Glasgow, and there he will no doubt meet world champion David Bryant, Commonwealth champion Willie Wood of Scotland, and it should be a great experience for this very fine player from the Dunedin Centre. He's only 31 years of age, but certainly off a bowling family. Looking to make it. Oh, he's touched the jack just through the head, and 4 shots is being indicated by his partner. 1, 2, says Pat Robertson, 3. And I think by our view from our monitor and even with the naked eye, Pat Robertson is going to have to concede 4, but he's not going to concede it easily by the look of it. He's going to his pocket to measure, but he's asking Wilson to measure it. 3 shots have been taken out. That's the Dickison bowl. That's the Kostanich bowl. And it is 4. So that was a great help to the Dunedin pair. They came from 8-3 down, and it's now 8-7. And they're halfway through the final of the pairs.
Wilson now, if you notice again, Ian, has brought the mat right out to that 6-metre mark, and it's trying to throw the minimum length jack. Out of the 9 ends they've played so far, Wilson has changed over holding the shot on 6 occasions, and we've seen Kostanich demonstrate on 3 or 4 occasions so far in this game when he's been 2 or 3 down, or possibly more, to get out of that situation. He didn't on that end, and it could well be, as I said earlier in this thing, the dominance of Wilson over Pat Robertson as the game goes on that tells the story so far as the game is concerned. But they've only halfway on the journey, and it could be, and Robertson could turn around and really turn on a top performance from now on.
Great second shot from Robertson. Little touch of the left hand, always just before he delivers the bow. And it's on its way. That's 2. Balances himself on the mat, touch of the left hand, and away. Any movement of the jack, as you can see from that picture on your screen now, is to the advantage of the Helensville pair. Just a slight, ever so nice trail will get them 3 shots. But Robertson this time is just a little wide, a little heavy actually, not wide, just a little heavy. Dickison will try and cover that trail, possible trail, by playing this off his backhand. Played it very well. It'll have to be a very delicate shot from Kostanich now. Done it again, you know. He's done it again. Touches his cap, recognizing the applause of the excellent gallery here this afternoon.
Yes, that was another outstanding shot by Ivan Kostanich, but at the same time, although he was 2 down on the changeover, Pat Robertson's first 2 bowls were first class on that end. For him to play with just a little bit of weight to either sit the bowl or move the jack, he played the shot to perfection.
As you can see, the 2 red disc bowls, one of Pat Robertson's and the other of Kostanich's. There the shot. Dickison is running. Fails to grab the jack. He was trying to pull the jack back to 2 back bowls that the
Come in here to touch that ball for another one.
Kaikarai side has. Touch that bowl for another one, Pat Robertson said, and that's exactly what Ivan Kostanich did. Touch that bowl for another one. Helensville with 3. Dickison, his last bowl. Taking the dampness out of the palms of his hands is Ian Dickison, as he's going to go straight at it, he said. Here it comes. He's got one of his own and one of the Helensville shot bowls. Helensville with 2.
I think it's safe. Just a draw. Okay. That's against us from the running. This is much closer. Don't like this hand. You like that hand flat?
Kostanich may not be trying terribly hard with this shot because he doesn't certainly want any jack movement. He's prepared to settle for the 2 shots, I think. I don't think he tried terribly hard.
No, I certainly didn't try too hard there. Any movement of the jack would have gone against him. And if he played the other hand, he played the backhand, he would have turned, or could have turned Dickison's, a bowl of Dickison's, which was just slightly short of the jack, onto the head for shot. So I think that Ivan Kostanich should be happy with those 2 shots.
Helensville's Pat Robertson delivers the jack for the 11th end in the Rothmans pairs final, being played at the St Kilda Green in Dunedin. The Helensville side leading by 10 shots to 7 after 10 ends. Play started at the St Kilda Green this morning at 10 o'clock, and it was very noticeable, particularly with the wind, that there was definitely one hand that was narrower than the other. Just in the last perhaps half an hour, I have been observing that the hand that the leads both are currently playing, that's both their backhands, seems to be taking much more green than it did this morning. The bowls seem to be much truer and breaking into the head nicely.
Yes, the wind is not affecting it at all now, and that hand that they were playing earlier this morning, which was very narrow, is taking a good swing. There's an even swing on both sides of the rink now. And of course the pace in both directions will be similar now, whereas before you were playing into a bit of a headwind one way with a backwind the other.
Here's Paddy Robertson, 2 shots. Robertson short, holding 2, however. Done his work pretty well in this hit.
In the ditch through there.
Dickison looking for a little desperation shot here. He's indicated to this man, Geoff Wilson, to run the jack in the ditch. Let's see what he can do.
Hurry. Hurry.
I think he's even going to be near.
He had to have a lot more weight than that to be able to run up through that port and pick any jack up.
The red and white discs of the Helensville team holding 2 shots, as you can see in your picture.
Hi, Jim. Hi, Jim. Hi, Jim. Jim. Nearly. No changing.
What a shot from Ian Dickison. He asked his lead to do it. His lead couldn't do it. And he said, right, I'll do it. And it was a magnificent shot from Dickison.
Yes, it didn't look like missing from halfway down the track, and that was a perfectly weighted shot. He picked that up as clean as a whistle and trailed it in. Geoff Wilson played it with much less weight than that, and he consequently swung away.
Kostanich goes into the ditch with his 2nd shot. They're only holding 1, the Kaikarai pair. Dickison has 2 bowls to play. That's his 2nd one, just delivered. That will be close enough for 2, I think.
You've got to beat that ball. Sure you have. Did it this time.
Kostanich saves 1. Kaikarai holding 1 shot. Last bowl from Dickison.
Well, thank you.
Will it stop? Will it stop? Will it stop? It has 2 shots to the Dunedin pair. It's 10-9 in the final of the National Pairs Championship. They've played 11 of the 18 ends. Noticeable, Kerry Clark, that I heard Ian Dickison said that they had, after the first match this morning, they had a plan against Kostanich that they would be playing short ends. I don't think anybody's watched Ivan Kostanich play bowls more than I do, and he's probably one of the best short end players in the business. But Dickison seemingly has observed during this tournament that they've called for an umpire, by the way, to see if this jack is up. Dickison has seemingly observed during this tournament that Robertson and Kostanich have been playing long ends, and consequently, because of their winning situation, they've been obviously playing them successfully. Have you any comment to make in relation to Kostanich's ability to play short ends?
No, I haven't got any comment at all. I agree with you. In the times that I've seen Ivan Kostanich playing, he's a very effective short end player. I think probably one of the ideas that Ian Dickison has got in his mind is the fact that the majority of greens here in Dunedin are with a maximum of 110 feet. The majority of the greens in Auckland are 120 feet. But regardless whether they be 120 or 110, the minimum length jack is 20 metres on them, and that's what he's trying to play on Kostanich, which is no different to what he'd be playing on Kostanich in Auckland. But they're playing the short end pretty effectively, Ian Dickison and Geoff Wilson, but that's not to say that Ivan Kostanich is not playing it just as effectively.
Jack was not up the required distance, so Wilson loses the jack. It's returned. Pat Robertson moves the mat. Kostanich indicates that he wants the mat taken right back. And now Robertson will deliver the jack. And just as we have been talking about, be looking for the long end. Robertson has the mat placed around about the 2 metre mark, and the jack is delivered to 3 metres from the front ditch. Kostanich straightens it. That's the white line that indicates you just saw Kostanich bring the jack over to the white line. That's the exact centre of the rink. £10 to 9 after 11 ends. Wilson short, Robertson short. Just may have heard Ian Dickison just say something there to his lead. That wind's changing again, he said, looking up at the flag.
Another 4 feet will be good.
There it is. The flag is starting to move again. Wilson doesn't need to be told more than once and draws almost perfection. Oh, Robertson got caught up on a Wilson short bowl, pushed it closer to the head. And the Helensville pair are now 2 down. Skips are changing. Kostanich says to Robertson, look at that flag. It's starting to move again. We would remind viewers that we will be continuing with the bowls, and due to that, the scheduled programs on this channel, namely Eat for Health and a repeat of Fame, will not be shown this afternoon. Kostanich looking to play a forcing type shot on the backhand, but he's not going to force anything. It's very, very short indeed. Kostanich looking to have more weight this time. He's looking to force the actual shot bowl through the head, or possibly draw the second shot, which he has done very effectively. He looked, when that bowl left his hand, it looked very like that he had a lot of weight on that bowl. Point of fact, he didn't have very much at all. He just had sufficient to virtually draw the second shot.
Yes, I think the wind has actually is a reverse now to what it was earlier in the day. They're having to push the bowls coming this way.
Now will Kostanich play with weight this time to try, now that he's got second shot. He's very close to pushing the shot bowl through the head. It's 10-all in the final of the national pairs. They've played 12 ends. The Helensville side have won 7 of these 12 ends, and the Kaikorai side has won 5 ends. A 4 on the 9th end certainly helped Kaikorai to get back into this game. They were trailing at that stage by 8 points to 3, but that 4, well drawn by Wilson and then added to by Dickison, and that put them right back in the game, and since then it's been nip and tuck all the way.
Yes, most certainly has. That 4 has certainly helped Wilson and Dickison, but at that stage there was the domination again of Wilson over Robertson, and it was Kostanich who was helping the Helensville pair out. Now it's seesawing each way, and I think that the type of bowls that are being played by both sides, it will continue to do so, and we'll see a very close finish in this particular final of the pairs.
Six-metre mat, 5-metre jack from the front ditch, toucher from Wilson, drags the jack offline slightly. Pressure goes back on this man. from the Helensville lead.
You need that much weight, Geoff. Just sit on it.
Wilson trying to reach the head, just had too much weight. Robertson holding shot, changing his hand. This will be one of the very few bowls in virtually 30 ends, because they played 18 this morning, now 12 this afternoon. This will be one of the few times that Pat Robertson has played that hand. Dickison getting stopped by a wing bowl of Robertson's. Kostanich. Short and narrow. He may be trying to get in the way. It's the old Delhi trick, playing into the drawing hand of his opponent.
How far short is he? About nearly 4 feet.
Dickison coming underneath the head. Both skips playing this particular end rather tentatively. Helensville holding the shot. Dickison's last bowl. I don't think Kostanich tried very hard with his last bowl. It was a very delicate situation. Helensville have scored a single. They go into the lead by 11 points to 10 after 13 ends. They have 5 ends to play in the national pairs final, and it's very tense. First game this morning in which Kostanich and Robertson lost their first life of the tournament. This game was won by Ian Dickison and his partner Geoff Wilson by 16 points to 15. So it looks as though we could be in for a big finish here in this, the final match of the Pairs Championship. Robertson just a little overweighted.
One down, Geoff. Just touch it for 2.
The Leeds have both played their 3 bowls in the 14th end. Robertson holding shot. Skips change. And that's the shot bowl there, the red and white disc bowl of Pat Robertson, just to the left of the jack. Kostanich short. He is perhaps, he's forced Dickison to play the other hand. I think Dickison was wanting to play that hand because he had better chances.
Yes, he certainly did have much better chances on his forehand to play up the same hand as Kostanich, just to rest the shot bowl or trail the jack. The last 2 ends, Ivan Kostanich has played a couple of very effective blocks to stop Dickison coming in on the hand that he wants to. However, that's a very, very good attempt by Dickison. But now got 2 second shots, and he can afford to be a little bit more adventurous in trying to remove the shot bowl at the Helensville pier.
See that bowl's worth 2.
Wilson saw exactly what Kerry Clark saw. It was that they, Kaikarai pair, have 2 seconds, and here they're going for the shot bowl. He's close. Kostanich needs to sit that bowl. Just fails to do so. They're 2 down, the Helensville pair. Dickison now with his last bowl. Trying to make it 3.
Oh, no, Geoff. Sorry, no.
He apologises to his lead. He knew that there was a bonus shot there, and bonus shots are often ones that win matches.
They certainly are, and if you miss too many of those shots where you haven't got the same pressure on, all you're trying to do is to add a shot to the ones that you've already got. You'll lose games, all right, but Ian Dickison hasn't missed too many of those during this game, and well, in fact, I think that's the first one he's missed when he's tried to add one when he's had shots that are counting. It was a very, very good drive of his on the second bowl.
4 ends to play. It's 12-11. And for the first time in the match, Wilson and Dickison have hit the front.
Geoff.
Two shots to Kaikarai as the wind starts to lift again. Robertson playing his last bow. Robertson seeming to lose concentration, seeming to lose his ability to draw close, particularly going in this direction. That's three. Pressure well and truly on this man from Helensville. The fisherman that they call him.
Played that bowl very, very narrow on that hand. I don't think if he'd had enough weight, he would have nearly run right out of the ring.
Is invariably a break point in all games of bowls. This could be it. Dickison pouring another one in. Going to do it again, is he? He's going to do. He saved some, certainly. Helensville in trouble.
Much better bowl here from Kostanich. He's done it again.
Kostanich saves it again. He was 4 down. He reduced it to 1 down. Jeffrey Wilson, Ian Dickison 13, Pat Robertson, Ivan Kostanich 11. There's 3 ends to play.
Geoff.
This is where it'll start to hurt. The pressure will go on all four players here. Robertson has shot. But there's plenty of room for Wilson, who's been playing very, very well throughout this game, to draw inside the Robertson shot bowl. The touch of the left hand, the delivery immediately thereafter. These two Dunedin lads, pals since they were young boys, played golf together, and now will they win their first national title together. That's two, but they're still well away from that jack. He's coming in through the back door. As shot. Kostanich mistakenly thought the Leeds had concluded the playing of their bowls and started to move up towards the mat. Robertson could get shot here. Not quite. Wilson holds shot as the leads change once again. Kerry Clark was keeping count of the lead battle.
Yes, the lead battle up until now was that Wilson has won 9 of the ends and Robinson 6.
Dickison is telling us that that is not a very good bowl, and probably most would agree. Kostanich looking to draw with his first bowl. He does have an alternative. They do have 3 seconds at the moment, the Helensville side. Kostanich, too heavy. The time now is just after 5:30, and I'm afraid all the children in New Zealand are going to probably hate me, but I'm going to have to tell you, children, that Kids World, you're not going to see that this evening, because we're going to continue with the bowls final as Kostanich drives at the shot bowl and's got it. So, children, I'm very, very sorry. No Kids World tonight. We're continuing with the bowls, the final of the National Pairs Championship being played at St Kilda Green in Dunedin, with Ian Dickison playing his last bowl in this, the 16th end. And has he drawn it? The bowl falls out. Pat Robertson has a look at the end, indicates that they have one shot, the Helensville side. Kostanich can make it 2. It's 13 all in the final of the pairs. Well, that's what Pat Robertson is telling his skip, but Geoff Wilson is not satisfied and is going to measure. That's his bowl. That's the Kostanich bowl. Pat Robertson was right, and it is 13 all. Well, a tremendous game of pairs this morning, a wonderful game of singles this afternoon, and now what a finish. 2 ends to play in the pairs. It's 13 all, and my word, the pressure now goes on, both sides. Kerry Clark, you had this pressure on you. I remember in 1977 at Auckland when you played the final of the fours against Ken Murtagh, when you were playing out of the North East Valley Club. I remember John Murtagh trailing the jack at number 2, and by the time David Baldwin had finished with you at number 3, you were 7 shots down, and with your last bowl you played into the counters and reduced, I think, the count to 2. How's that from memory?
Yes, that's a pretty good memory, Ian. I didn't really have the pressure on me greatly throughout that game until the last end, when we were 4 up on the board and 7 down on the head, and I'm sure we won on a wing and a prayer, but I managed to get a bowl in there somewhere.
Wilson grabs the shot for Kaikerite.
Don't worry about bumping him in.
Wilson, second bowl, 17th end. Remember, they're only playing 18 ends. He makes it 2 for the Dunedin players. 2 shots, there they are there in your picture. The blue and gold disc bowls. Pat Robertson asked to change his hand. Pressure getting at him a bit. Pull back. Been asked to run the jack. Well, look at the shot bowls. It's going underneath the head.
Come and have a look.
Dickison calls his lead to have a look at the end. Maybe there's 2 reasons for this. Maybe he does want him to see the end, or maybe he just wants to settle his lead, because this is a very vital head. Whoever wins this head could win the championship.
I think he may be possibly looking at asking Geoff Wilson to play a shot to just try and trail that jack, to put it out of sight for Ivan Kostanich, or the alternative is for him to put a back bowl in, because the danger is, with Kostanich being such an accurate driver, he's got the back bowl at the moment, and if the head stays the way it is, it's odds on that he could hit that and put that jack in the ditch. So they're the 2 alternatives I see that they're looking at the moment. If Wilson can come in on the same hand as he's been playing on his backhand and just trail that jack a bit, it makes the target, it makes the shot much more difficult for Kostanich to play.
Wilson has his instructions. He's returning to the mat. 1 bowl to play. Robertson has played his 3. I can assure you nobody is leaving the St Kilda Bowling Club just at this very moment. And we're pleased to tell you that we won't be leaving you here on television either. We'll be here to the conclusion of this match. And I'm afraid Kiddy's World and those that are looking at it will have to suffer.
Stop. Stop. Stop.
Wilson goes in the ditch. The head is set for Kostanich. He has a great chance here. I would think he'll go for those 2 bowls off his forehand. He's got a chance of taking either of the 2 bowls, both of them, or alternatively the jack in the ditch would be the miracle shot. Here he comes. He's not playing a terribly forcing shot, but my word, it might be an effective one. It could be an effective one. Got one of them out and he's got the shot. Dickison short.
Play it around there, out and running.
You heard Pat Robertson play it around there, off your backhand, ours in the running. That means that if he happens to hit his own bowl, that would be advantageous. It would knock it closer to the jack.
Good late.
All those back bowls are
Need to turn that bowl over.
Helensville bowls. They're holding the shot. Dickison has changed his hand. There must be a temptation here in that man's mind. The second shot is worth 5 shots, Pat Robertson indicated.
Yeah, or the trail of the jack. The trail of the jack, I think, is the...
Nah, not that way.
Just need to play on the forehand and take the gamble.
He looks narrow.
Don't know that he was that entirely keen on this shot.
Another back bowl.
Well, Helensville holding shot. It's 13 all. They're playing the 17th end. Dickison has 1 bowl to play. Dickison can't take any risks of going for the shot bowl because he possibly could take his own, and that would cause all sorts of problems in the Dunedin camp.
Yes, it would. And then again, if he got the bowl out clean, he's got 2 shots.
He's going to go for it. A do or die effort from Dickison. It's on its way.
No,
He's missed it. Helensville go into the final end, leading by 14 shots to 13, and boy, oh boy, what a cliffhanger we've got here. Dunedin by no means out of this game. This morning they went into the last end, locked at 15 all. And now they go into the last end with Helensville leading by 14 points to 13. And it would certainly be difficult playing out there at this very moment. None of the players have jerseys on. I don't think they'd need them, but it is getting quite cool here at St Kilda. Here's Robertson's first bowl. Played a great bowl. Paddy Robertson played a good one for Helensville.
How much short, Geoff? Plenty of room for you. Good, Geoff.
This is not on a bad line either. Not on a bad line either. He's done it. The Kaikarai boy has done it. He's drawn the shot. The game is level. Good weighted bowl from Robertson, but just a little too wide.
Yeah, just leave that alone for a minute. Would you give us a back bowl here?
Dickison looking to build ahead now. He's got the shot, he's got the draw. He doesn't mind an extra end because that's what they'd have to play.
Hurry. Come on. Yeah. Try it again. See if you can disturb something. The region.
Robertson trying to disturb the jack. Puts a bowl at the back. And that's probably a good place for it. Wilson looking to cover the back. Dickison, the skip, content with the shot at the moment and the draw. And now Dickison has the back bowl. Very difficult shot for the Kostanich man. He's got to try and disturb the jack in some way. Kostanich's first bowl. It's too heavy, breaking past the head. Dickison with a chance.
Working the shoulder here. Come on, Hen. Come on. Over.
Oh, Dickison just fails to grab the second shot.
It's made the situation very, very difficult for Kostanich. He's got the back bowl against him. The Dickison's last bowl is blocking the shot he's trying to play. And yet he's got to try and disturb the head a little bit.
The question is, do you go into an extra end, Ivan Kostanich? That's the question he's asking himself, and probably Pat Robertson is asking the same thing. Robertson and Kostanich have made up their decision rather tentatively by the look of Kostanich. He's not walking back with any spring in his step. You can see the scoreboard in the background. 17 ends gone, 14-13 to Kostanich and Dickison. Kostanich's second bowl. He's looking to try and draw it. And he's not far away. That's a good bowl from the Helensville fisherman. He's got a little better position now. Now it's Dickison's turn. He too is going to try and draw that shot that'll save the extra end. But the pressure not quite as much on him. Dickison narrow, just coming underneath the head. Good weighted bowl from the Kaikarai skip. Well, I suppose all those Kaikarai players are either here at the St Kilda Green or watching on television, and I would be certain that all those Helensville people are up there watching, hoping and hoping that their pair can bring the title back to them. But the cigarettes are going flat out here, and I'm sure that Rothmans will be very pleased.
I'm sure they will be, Ian. Ivan Kostanich is looking now, I think, to try a shot on the other hand, the opposite hand to what he's been playing, to try and turn Pat Robertson's bowl onto the shot bowl, and by virtue of doing that, to roll the shot bowl onto the jack, which would spring it to Ivan Kostanich's last bowl.
The bowl that Kerry was just explaining to you is the bowl with the goal posts on it. That's Pat Robertson's bowl, and that's exactly what Kostanich is going to try and do. Just let's see if this man can play the shot of the game. He had a particularly good weighted bowl, just not sufficient green. So at this stage, one bowl to play in the 17th end, or in the 18th end, I'm sorry, in the 18th end, and we've got a tie on our hands. It's all tied up at 14, all with Dickison the win in his hand if he can draw the shot. And I would assure you that there'll be the biggest roar you've ever heard if this man, Ian Dickison, can draw this shot. He says, I haven't got any weight, and he cracks his hand. And it's 14 all in the pairs. They'll be playing an extra 2 metre mark. So that was a little shrewd move from Pat Robertson then. And he's also given his skip Ivan Kostanich the last bowl, which is an advantage, but I'm sure Ivan Kostanich would be delighted not to have to play it. In other words, that the Helensville side would have the shot prior to Kostanich playing the last bowl. Now we would also remind viewers that this end can be killed. It can be killed all night, for that matter, under NZBA conditions, and that means that it would have to be replayed and replayed until an actual result was obtained. Wilson heavy. Robertson breaking into the head, breaking short, however.
Harry, your track's good. All right.
Ikarai. Breaking well, Paddy Robertson, you're breaking well. You probably have the shot. We apologise for that short loss of picture to the viewers just now. Ian Dickison is inspecting the head. He's indicating that he's one down.
That's all right.
Wilson changing his hand. Both Robertson and Wilson have very rarely played this hand throughout the 36 ends that these two teams have played today. But he's played it pretty well. Just failing to stop. Ball goes on, goes through the head. Robertson wide. Dickison looking at the shot. Takes his glasses off. He's been wearing dark glasses all afternoon. Puts them back on again. He has indicated that he's one down. Three bowls each. Dickison playing it off the forehand, looking to push his own bowl into the head or alternatively reach the shot bowl. Has he got the weight? Has he got the weight?
I don't think he's got quite enough weight, but he's certainly going to be a nuisance bowl for Ivan Kostanich. It's just about right on the track where the Helensville skip would be looking to come into. Kostanich has got to get another ball.
Kostanich now being forced to play the forehand by that short bowl from Dickison. Kostanich up to the Dickison bowl, forcing another bowl into the head, which is a good thing for the Helensville side. Dickison once again looking to push
Much better bowl here from
into
Dickison.
the head, or alternatively just has to touch it,
And
he's done it. He's done it. Kostanich, the drive up onto the two bowls, and he's got the shot back.
He's got two shots.
He's got two shots, but he only needs one. Dickison having to draw it. Last bowl. All the pressure in the world on this man from Dunedin, and he is surely short with this bowl.
Not much short.
Ivan Kostanich and Pat Robertson of Helensville are the new champions. They have won the Rothmans National Pairs Championship by 16 points to 14. The fisherman looks up to heaven, raises his cap, goes up and shakes the hand of his mate Pat Robertson from Hillsborough, and it's all over here at the St Kilda Green, and shortly you will be seeing the Molenberg Mile. So it's been sport all day here for you viewers at Channel 1. So a great finish here. Pat Robertson and Ivan Kostanich of the Helensville Club in Auckland have beaten Geoff Wilson and Ian Dickison from the Kaikarai Club in Dunedin by 16 points to 14 in an extra end. Earlier today, the new New Zealand singles champion is Robin Milne